Hello everyone, this is a new tutorial series. This one's going to be on how to create a build system. It's going to be very basic, just as a stepping point for you to use in anything that you want to use. The first thing that I've done is, you've noticed that this is the first person template, but there is nothing there. I've also made sure that there's no weapon, which in 5.3 is by default, because you have to pick up the rifle. I've also imported a couple of meshes that we're going to use. We're going to use this cooking pot and this market stall. So I'm just going to move them out of the way, just so you can see what we are going to use. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out a way of locking the whatever we're going to build, so it will be the ghost of the mesh, into a grid position. So that's nice and easily done. So if we open up our player character and if we create an event tick, we're going to create a line trace by channel. I'm going to plug that in. We will add something into the middle here later on, but at the moment it's not needed. We're going to use get actor location. I'm going to plug that into the start. And we're going to do get player camera manager. Get actor forward vector. Multiply that forward vector by float, so right click on the second pin to change it, and we're going to change it to 750. Add that to the camera manager's actor location, plug that into the end. You can even plug the camera manager's actor into the start rather than the character. And if you show as duration and push play, you'll see that there is always a trace going to the direct center of the screen, which is the camera manager's forward vector. If we change the debug type back down to none, because we won't need that anymore, what we're going to need is to first of all check if it has hit something. If it has, then we're going to draw a debug arrow, or debug anything. We'll call it just a sphere. At the impact point, with a radius of 25, duration of 0.1, thickness of 5, and we'll make it nice, easy to see red. So now you can see that if it hits the ground, there is a point there. There is a very important note here. If you drag off the impact point and you type in snap, vector snapped to grid, and in here, in the in-grid size, you can choose the size of your grid that you're going to be snapping to. So I'm going to use 50. So you can see now that it's not going to change, so we can change that just to show a bit clearer. 500, 200 even. So now it's along the grid. I'm going to drop it back down to 50. Compile and save. So now we want this to show the ghost of what we're going to be building. So we need to first of all create a new material. And we're going to call this m_ghost mat and open it up. We're going to press and hold 3 and click, and then right click and change it to a parameter, and we call it ghost color. And by default we want a nice green click on the ghost matte and change the blend mode to translucent, and drag the top RGBA node to the emissive color. Press and hold S to make a scalar parameter, and we'll call this opacity color. Drag that into opacity, and we'll set this as 0.3. Give us a nice ghostly green. And what we can do just to make it a little bit nicer to look at is we can add a Fresnel node under the utility and multiply the opacity by the Fresnel and plug it straight back into the opacity. Change it to two-sided. And apply. So now we have our default ghost material. You can right click on it and create material instance. We'll call this m_ghost invalid. And we can go into there, change the ghost color to a red. Right click and create a new blueprint. We're going to call this is going to be an actor. We're going to call this BP_ghost or build ghost, we'll call it. And we're going to give it a static mesh. We'll call ghost, and just as an example for now, we're going to give it market still. Compile, and we'll change the material to our ghost. So now we need a way of making this show where we are aiming, and this is where we need to add a couple of bits in here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a custom event. I'm going to call this enter build mode. We're going to create a new boolean called build mode, which when we enter this, we'll set it to true. We'll also spawn an actor, which will be the BP ghost, build ghost, and I'm going to set that to a variable. Drag off the spawn to transform and just go make transform just so it spawns anywhere, because that doesn't matter. And then under event tick, we want to drag off the tick, type in branch, that auto adds it in so you don't have to remove the connections and redo it again. Drag build mode into there, so now only if build mode is true will it do this. Remove the debug sphere, and we'll go build ghost if or is valid. And we can go set actor location to our new grid location. And debug key B. Obviously here is where you would do your normal enhanced inputs. And we are going to enter build mode. So now nothing happens, but if I press B, then it spawns the ghost. But it is very jumpy. And the reason for that is because it's colliding with itself. So our ghost, set to no collision. Now you can see that it shows up where we want it. Okay, that will probably do for the first episode. So what we'll do next time is we will run into some data tables, some structs, so we can fill in some info on different builds, and we can also look at making it so it actually spawns the actors themselves and you actually build when it comes through. So as usual guys, thank you for watching. If you like it, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and join the Discord if you have any troubles. Thank you very much.